Welcome to Voices in Shadows, where the darkest stories come to life. Tonight, we take you into the twisted world of Jacques Rançon, whose quiet beginnings belied the horrors to come. A story of misjustice, unthinkable crimes, and years of fear. But stay close, because this tale doesn't end where you think it will. Every monster has a beginning. For Jacques started small petty thefts and harassment. Arrested, released, and ignored. The system failed to see the monster taking shape. Rancon's life seemed like a series of missed chances. Chances for law enforcement to stop what would become a spree of blood and horror. It's always like this, right? You hear about a few arrests, minor things, and then people look away. But with someone like Rancon, these early crimes were just the surface of something much darker. On a cold December night in 1997, Mokhtaria Chaib, a 19-year-old student, was heading home after a shift at a fast food restaurant in Perpignan. She didn't know that Jacques Rançon was following her through the quiet streets watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Rancon's attack was merciless. He ambushed her, dragging her into the darkness where no one could hear her screams. He not only killed her, he mutilated her. A crime that shocked the community, breast severed, her body left to be discovered the next morning. It's the kind of crime that makes you wonder what kind of mind is capable of doing that. And to think there were no answers. The killer vanished into the night, leaving police with nothing to go on. Just 6 months later, the nightmare repeated. 22-year-old Marie-Helene Gonzalez became Rancon's second known victim. Same town, same brutal method. The police knew they were dealing with a serial killer now, but with no solid leads, the streets of Perpignan became a place of fear. Women avoided going out at night, knowing someone was out there, a shadow lurking in the streets, waiting for another victim. Yet Rancon continued unbothered and invisible to law enforcement. Imagine the fear. Two women brutally murdered in almost the same way, with no clue who did it. It's the kind of terror that sinks deep into a town. Every shadow becomes a threat. And the killer? He just slips away. But monsters make mistakes, and Rancon was no exception. Later in 1998, he attacked Marie-Charlotte Pontier. But Pontier fought back. Injured but alive, she escaped and gave police a crucial description, a sketch of the man behind the terror.
Like and subscribe.
Yet even with Pontier's testimony, the evidence wasn't enough. The case went cold. Years passed. Rancon vanished into the crowd, living a quiet life until DNA technology caught up with him. This is where things could have ended. They had a survivor, a sketch, but it just wasn't enough. The system couldn't connect the dots. How many more years would pass before justice caught up to him? It wasn't over, not even close. In 2018, more than 20 years after his first known murders, DNA from the Perpignan crime scenes finally matched Rançon. He was arrested and confessed to the murders of Moctaria Chaib and Marie-Helene Gonzalez. But Rançon's story took a shocking turn during his trial. Investigators uncovered a forgotten cold case from 1986 before the Perpignan killings. The victim, Isabelle Mesnage, a young woman whose body was found mutilated in a forest in the Somme region. At the time of her death, no one suspected Rançon. Her brutalized body, discovered deep within the forests of the Somme region, was a grim mystery that haunted investigators for years. The case eventually went cold, swallowed by time and fading memories. But 33 years later, new evidence would shatter the silence, exposing Rançon as the killer. The long-forgotten crime had finally caught up with the man who thought he had escaped justice. Imagine for over 3 decades, the truth stayed hidden. A killer walking free, a family without answers, a crime that time almost forgot. It's terrifying how justice can take so long, and even then, only by chance. In 2018, Rançon stood trial for the murders of Chaib, Gonzalez, and the attack on Pontier. His calm confessions revealed the depth of his depravity. But the discovery of Isabelle Mesnage's case during these proceedings brought new revelations. Rançon's violent spree had begun years earlier than anyone had thought. The jury sentenced him to life imprisonment without parole, finally bringing an end to his reign of terror. It took 3 decades, 3 victims, countless missed chances, but in the end, justice caught up with Rançon. It makes you wonder, how many other monsters are still out there, hiding in the shadows, waiting to be discovered? Some stories have endings, but in the shadows of every city, there are more that remain untold. Jacques Rançon's victims now rest, their killer behind bars. But the streets remember, and so should we. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey through the story of Jacques Rançon. Here at Voices in Shadows, we uncover the unspeakable and shine a light where others fear to tread. Until next time, stay safe and watch the shadows.